Namaste. Welcome to this short practice for the hips. So this is actually a special video for one of my wonderful one-to-one students. And so if you find it useful, that's great. It is about stabilizing and mobilizing the hips without expecting too much for them, particularly if you have some hip pain, or perhaps if you are recouping from a hip replacement or expecting a hip replacement surgery. Okay, so to begin with, just find yourself a comfortable seat. Maybe sit a little bit towards the front of your seat and sit tall so that the rest of your body is engaged and lifted, and then just lifting your toes up, giving them a wiggle, and then coming up onto your toes and lifting your heels away from the floor. Lifting your toes up, coming back onto your heels, coming forward onto the toes, lifting the heels from the floor, just backwards and forwards. Very good. Doing a few of these, and then you might try taking one heel up and the opposite toe up, and then swapping to the other side. So a little alternate heel lift, toe lift. This can help us really tune into the feet on the floor and also help us to find our steadier feet. Very good. Going side to side. Last one to each side. And then float your feet down. You can bring your feet nice and close together. And then keeping the heels together, take the toes out. Keeping the toes where they are, pivot the heels. Take the toes out, heels out. Heels in, heels in, toes out, heels out, toes out. You can go as far in and out as your range of movement allows. Just getting that sensation of pivoting. You'll notice that the leg bones move in the leg bones. The femur bones, the thigh bones move in the hip sockets a little bit. And you have to use your inner and outer thigh muscles as well. We'll do one more out. And one more in, and then rest with the knees together and the feet together. Fantastic stuff. Now take yourself to sit a little bit further back in your seat so that your thighs are supported, and we're going to gently kick one leg out and then the other, touching the toe down in between. So here you don't have to get your leg super straight. You don't have to extend it very far. If you want to do smaller kicks, that's fine. But resting your hands on your thighs, perhaps you can feel those muscles of the quadriceps here in the fronts of the thighs working. And these muscles help to stabilize our hips and encourage leg movements in a healthy way. Very good. And then resting down in between, I'm going to extend just one leg. I'm choosing my left leg first, and rotate the foot at the ankle. Keep sitting tall. Go in the opposite direction as well. And then rest this leg down. Extend the opposite leg. Sit tall, rotate your foot at the ankle. It's amazing how much our ankle flexibility leads to healthy hips. Opposite way as well. This is a great one to do when you're watching TV of an evening or listening to the radio perhaps. And release this leg down. This time you're going to extend the left leg out and make it the leg as long and straight as you can, and just wave the sole of your foot from one side to the other, feeling that thigh bone roll in the hip socket. Just a little bit. Just do what comes naturally. Don't worry about how much movement you have or how subtle it might be. Release this leg down. Feel those thigh muscles working. Extend the opposite foot. Waving the sole of the foot from side to side, flexing through the heels so that you encourage the toes to come back towards the body a little bit. And just do what comes naturally. Don't force or push or press. Very good. And float this one down as well. Then if you come a little bit more forward in your seat, You can lift one leg towards you, either by lifting the leg under your own steam, under the power of your core muscles and hip flexors, or you can lean slightly back in the seat to counterbalance. Sometimes that helps. Or you can hold underneath the back of the leg, whichever of these feels most comfortable to you, and then just gently stirring the foot around so that you're moving a little bit from the knee, a little bit in the thigh bone as well. Go in the opposite direction too. Very good. And then floating this foot down, doing the same on the other side, either leaning back to counterbalance the leg or holding underneath, or just lifting your leg up if that feels comfortable and stirring your foot around in a circle and going the opposite way as well. Very good. Whatever you're doing should feel comfortable in the hips, even if you have a bit of discomfort. It shouldn't exacerbate it. It should feel comfortable in the knees and the feet as well. And you come to sitting steady again, feet on the floor. Come as far towards the edge of your seat as feels comfortable so that you still feel safe and secure in your seat. And then lifting in the belly muscles, hands on the hips, lift the left leg up, take the knee out to the side, place the foot down, lift it up from the side, draw the knee back to center, place the foot down. Left leg up, out, down, up, in, down, up, out, down, up, in, down. Let's do the other side. Lift the right knee up, take the knee out to the side, place your foot down, lift the knee up, bring the knee back to center, place the foot down, up, out, down, up, in, down, firm in the belly, up, out, down, up, in, down. When you've done 3 to each side, stop for a moment and just see that it feels okay. If you want to, you can circle your knees here. So again, it's about moving the bone in the hip joint, because we want to encourage the muscles that support that movement to work, to fire, to be strong, and go in the opposite direction as well. But if knee circling doesn't suit you, and it won't suit everybody, it might clunk or click or be uncomfortable. So if knee circling doesn't suit you, you can revert to up, out, down, up, in, down, okay? But if you can circle, circle to the opposite side as well. Otherwise, do about 3 more, up, out, down, up, in, down, on each side. You might have one hip that behaves better than the other. I certainly do. Other way, if you're circling, you might begin to feel the warmth of this area of the body. Very good. When you're ready, placing both feet down. And it's good to limber the rest of the spine as well. So if it's comfortable, you can bring the arms together in front of you, reaching the hands away, turning the backs of the hands in, chin towards the chest, and then reaching the arms wide, turning the palms up, looking up. As you exhale, round through the spine, scoop the belly in, chin to chest, backs of the hands towards each other. Inhaling, opening the chest, turning the palms up, looking up, lifting the chin. Exhaling, rounding, press into your feet to support. Inhaling, opening. Let's do 2 more. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, rounding. Last one. Inhaling, opening. And let your breath fall into its natural rhythm. Arms float down to the side. Give your shoulders a little bit of a wriggle. Maybe one and then the other, both directions. And if you need to, you can stop and make some shoulder or neck movements if that feels good to you. We're going to stand up onto the feet now. So we should practice standing up and down from a chair to maintain that strength to lift the body for as long as possible. So if you want to, you can sit yourself ever so slightly further back in the seat so that at least the whole of your buttocks is supported by the chair. And if you're worried about your chair moving away from you, certainly I wouldn't recommend this on a chair with wheels, but you can place your chair against a non-moving object, like a very heavy piece of furniture or the wall. So to get up, we're going to reach forward, rock our weight into our feet, and then come back to sitting upright. Reach forward, rock your weight into your feet, feel the feet press down, and sit back. This time, see if you can float your buttocks up a little. Reaching forward, press into the feet, just free the buttocks from the seat, and then gently place them down again. Really using those leg muscles. Reaching forward, scoop the belly in, weight into the feet, slight float of the buttocks, and release down. This time, see if you can stand all the way up. And if you can't, don't worry, just keep practicing. So if you can, reaching forward, standing all the way up. If you can stand all the way up, open the palms wide, open the chest, and let your hips swing forward a little bit. And then firm in the belly muscles, firm in the buttocks, reaching forward to counterbalance as you gently float your buttocks down to the seat. Let's do 3 more of those. Reaching forward, press the feet down, press into the legs, stand tall, open the chest, open the front of the hips, scoop the belly in as you gently lengthen the buttocks back behind you and sit down. Using your arms as a counterbalance, reaching forward, pressing into the feet to stand tall, and then gently coming the opposite way, extending the spine long so the tailbone sits down gently first, arms come down as well. Reaching forward, perhaps using a little momentum, that's okay. If you can, doing it nice and slowly so you're using strength. Let's do 1 more. I've lost count as usual. Reaching forward, standing tall, and then resting the arms down to the side. When you're up on your standing feet, just making sure that feels nice and comfortable. If you need to give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, you can wiggle. If you need to shake out your legs, you can do that too. And I'd recommend using a little support to do that, but just giving the legs a little bit of a shake, one side and then the other. So we're going to do a little bit of leg swinging, and you can do this with the support of a wall and a chair, but today I'm just going to demonstrate it with a chair. So I'm going to swing the leg backwards and forwards. I want to have my chair on my right side and my standing leg, my left leg on the other side, so that I've got plenty of room to swing my right leg in between. Here, I can reach my arm out to the side, left hand for balance, or have it on my hip. Standing tall, making that left buttock and thigh active so that you don't sag into the left side to hold the body on the left foot. And then gently lengthen that right leg, maybe flex your heel a little bit, flex through the foot, and gently swing backwards and forwards. And it doesn't matter how big your movement is, whether it's just little and nice and gentle, or whether it's a bigger, more expressive movement, but try not to move the rest of your body. So try to activate those belly muscles, the muscles in the back of the body, in the low back, the back of the leg, the buttock, to allow this movement to happen. This can be a really nice movement to create a little traction on the hip, to release tension from the capsule of the hip joint. Very good. When you're ready, you can allow your foot to come back down to steadiness, stand onto both feet, feel the difference between the legs. So whilst you think that perhaps the moving leg is doing all of the working, the stabilizing leg is doing all of the strengthening. It's all good. So here we're going to do stepping as well. So still with the left leg as the standing leg and the right leg as the moving leg. Step forward onto your right foot and step the feet back together. Step out to the right side of the right foot. You might need to adjust your chair and step back together. Step the feet behind, or the right foot behind, and step back together. Do it 2 more times through. Stepping forward and together. Step out to the side and together. Step behind and together. Step forward. The steps can be nice and small, or you might make them a little bigger. Make it comfortable. Make it something that you feel like you can do a few times. Very good. And then once we've done that, we're again going to take the weight onto the left leg and kick forward. Kick out to the side. Do take care you're not going to kick anything. Kick back. Kick forward. Kick out to the side. And kick back. Let's do one more. Kick forward. Kick out to the side. It's okay to move your body a little bit. Kick back. Very good. And then just march on the feet to make sure you even up any feelings between the two legs and even up any tension. If you'd like to, you can do a downward facing dog with the chair here, placing the hands onto the back of the chair, walking your feet away, soften your knees, extend through the length of the spine, maybe gently sway the hips from side to side, or simply hold in the center here, or wiggle in the knees a little bit, whatever feels good. It can be really good to stretch out that space in the low back. I apologize, I'm wearing a really baggy jumper today. When you're ready, look forward and come up. And that's because it's Sacral Chakra week, which is very appropriate for the hips. And orange is the color of the Sacral Chakra. So when you're ready, you can come to the other side. I've swapped my chair over, but of course you can just walk around your chair. The right leg becomes the standing leg. The left hand rests on the chair for support. Right hand either out to the side or on the hip. And the left leg is going to be the one moving. So firm the buttock and thigh of the right leg. Don't let that hip sag out to the side. Keep it nice and centered over your foot. Flex your left foot. Do a little kick forwards and backwards. And it can, sorry, a swing, not a kick. Swing forwards and backwards. And just make sure you're not going to kick anything or catch anything with your toes. If you prefer to do this standing next to a wall, use a wall for support, absolutely. The idea is to try to keep the upper body fairly still. So we don't want to be rocking backwards and forwards like this, because that'd be really hard work for the right hip. Instead, using the muscles of the buttock and hamstring, the low back, and the belly. When you're ready, you can allow your swing to become a bit smaller, until you're back to standing on both feet and observe the difference between the two sides. Then we can do some stepping. And if you need to pause the video to allow a little rest first, that's okay. Step forward onto your left foot. Step the feet back together. Step out to the left side. Step the feet together. Step the left foot behind you. Step the feet together. 2 more times. Step forward and together. Step out to the side and together. Step behind and together. Step forward and together. Step out to the side and together. And step behind and together. Very good. Now a little bit of kicking. We're going to kick 3 times in each of our 3 directions. So kick forward, kick out to the side, kick behind, and always bring your foot back to the center. Kick forward, kick out to the side, kick behind. Kick forward, kick out to the side, kick behind. Very good. And then just march on your feet a little bit to even up the difference between the 2 sides. And this is maybe a good time to do a little bit of hip wiggling. So standing with your feet nice and wide apart, you can create soft bend in the knees and also a really firm grounding in contact with the feet. And then perhaps just giving your hips a little circle. And if you want, you can do this keeping the upper body really still. So above the chest, nobody would know what was going on. And that encourages those muscles in the torso that are so engaged in creating a strong core, that we engage those really strongly here, or in a nice functional way. And you can go the opposite way as well. from the chest up. Looks like nothing's going on. Feels like a bit like belly dancing. That's all good. Channel your inner Arabian Night. Very good. And coming back to the center, just lengthening the legs for a moment. If you need to, you can give them a little bit of a shake. Fantastic stuff. And then a really nice one to do, if you want to, of course, you can hip circle and make the body move a lot more. And that is a nice one to do if you'd like to do a few of those in each direction. I was thinking of something else which we'll come to. So reversing the hip circles to the other side, letting the rest of the body join in. And it might be that this one doesn't suit you. Maybe it does, maybe you prefer this one. You know, coming back to the center, standing tall, taking a moment, softening the knees, and then make figure of eights. So figure of eights take the weight onto one leg more than, and then the other. Circling the left hip forwards, out and back, right hip forwards, out and back. Just going side to side. And here you can allow the rest of your body to move as you would like to. Perhaps you want to use your arms a little bit. It's quite nice to create that flowing feeling, almost like a dance. The hips are governed by the element of water, which is always flowing, fluid, dynamic. It's strong, it's flexible, it's yielding. When you're ready, you can go the opposite way, taking the hip back, out and forwards, back, out and forwards. And again, if you want to, you can use your arms a little bit. Sometimes it's nice to use them for that sense of balance. I feel like I'm dancing in one of those trancey raves that I used to go to when I was quite young. When you finish this side, just bringing yourself back to center, observing how that feels, perhaps giving the shoulders a little bit of a wriggle or a roll, rolling in the wrists if that's helpful too. And then we'll come to the chair for a final practice, well, maybe final upstanding practice. How's about that? So here, standing facing onto your chair, you're going to take the weight onto your left leg first and lift the right foot up behind you. So the knees are quite close together as if they were standing. So you haven't got one knee way out to the side here. Buttock and thigh of your standing left leg is strong. And with the heel lifted, we're going to press the heel backwards and bring the knee back to center. Press the heel back, knee to center. Firm in the belly. Don't move the rest of your body if you can. Press your heel back, return to center. Heel back, return to center. Let's do 3 more, which will make 8, 2, and 3. And then lengthen that foot down to the ground. March in place just to even the effort on both sides of the pelvis. Same thing on the other side, lifting the left heel behind you, keeping the belly firm, the body upright, knees close together in the center, and then press the left heel back and return. Press the left heel back and return. Feel that the muscles in the back of the body switching on. Press the left heel back and return. This makes number 5, I think. We've got 3 more. Pressing back, return to center, pressing back, return to center. Last one, pressing back, return to center. Lengthen the legs, march in place. And another downward facing dog here can be really useful. So if it feels good to stretch out those structures that have just been working, soften the knees, lengthening through the tailbone, scooping your belly in, maybe gently swaying the hips from side to side if that feels good, to loosen off any tension in the low back, or perhaps gently bending and straightening alternate legs as you wriggle from side to side or walk from side to side. Whenever you're ready, look forward to your seat, press into the hands, walk forward and stand with your chair. And we'll do Just one more thing before sitting down. I keep saying just one more thing. So before sitting down, turn around so that your hands are on your chair back, and maybe just gently step away from your chair, and this brings your upper body into a more sort of back bending shape. And here, if you want to, you can firm the belly, roll the shoulder blades together, lengthen the chest up, and even if you want to, lengthen your hips away from your chair. If you don't have to do a big movement, just go with what feels good. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then bring your head and chest back to a more central position. Step back towards your seat. Release your arms. Give everything a little bit of a wiggle. And then come to sitting once more. So to give ourselves a little bit of release, we want to create some length as well as some strength in muscles. So slide your left heel forward so that your left leg is long and straightish, if possible, and right knee bent, buttocks nice and firm on the seat. We're going to press the right foot into the floor, lift the chest, and just angle forward from the hips until you come to a place that feels good. You can, if you like, sway your chest from side to side. Sometimes that's a nice thing to do. And when you're ready, you can come back to center, slide the left leg in. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So slide the right heel out, press down into the left leg, sit tall, scoot the belly in, lean forward from your hips so the back stays nice and long. And if it's comfortable, you can sway the chest from side to side. You don't need to do that though. If it just feels good to hang out in this slightly folded position. Nice long back, shoulder blades moving towards each other, elbows keeping the chest open by staying back as well. When you're ready, pressing into the feet to sit tall, slide the right foot in. Now, for most people who have trouble with their hips or who are approaching or have experienced a hip replacement, crossing the legs isn't something that happens very easily. But if you're able to, cross your left ankle in front of your right. Keep the knees moving towards each other and the thighs also moving towards each other. We're going to sit tall, reaching the arms wide and twist to the left. So reach your right hand towards your left thigh and your left hand behind you towards your seat. Roll your shoulder blades towards each other, very gently moving into that twist, maybe even turning your head just a touch. Shoulders are down away from the ears, belly muscles engaged, legs still pressing towards each other. To unwind, look to the front with only your head. Release your hands, unwind, turn a little to the opposite side and back to the center. Uncross the legs. Take a moment here to widen your stance. So wider legs with toes pointing out if you can. Do a little side bending to each side. So reaching the left arm up and over, you can reach the right hand to the right thigh. Coming back to the center, reaching the right arm up and over, scoop the belly in, supporting with the left hand on the thigh. Let's do 3 more to each side. Gently moving from side to side, nice and controlled, firm in the belly muscles. Firming the feet into the floor as well to provide that support. 1 more to each side. Only going into the side bend as much as feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, coming back to the center, releasing the arms down, you can bring the feet back towards each other. You can scissor them if you like. Cross the right foot in front of the left, draw the knees towards each other, press the thighs towards each other. Let's sit tall again for a spinal twist to the right hand side. Spread the arms wide. Reach the left hand across the body to the right thigh, the right hand behind you to your chair back or seat. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other, lengthen through to the crown of your head, and then gently turn into your right side to a point that feels comfortable. No pulling, no forcing. Take a moment here to soften your shoulders down. Take a deep breath. When you're ready, you can turn to the front with just your head. Release your hands, unwind your spine, turning to the other side momentarily and back to center. Uncross your legs. And take a moment here. If you want to, you can do a forward fold, but to do that, I would sit a little bit further back into the seat. Sit tall as you inhale, feet nice and wide. As you exhale, fold forward from the hips, slide the hands all the way down towards the floor. If you can, drape your body over your thighs, your legs. Allow the back of your neck and your shoulders to relax. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. To come up, slide your hands up to the tops of your knees or thighs, press into the hands, scoop the belly in, press into the feet, and hinge back up to an upright position. And now is a good opportunity to take some time to do a relaxation, which you can do sitting in your chair, reclining on a sofa, or lying down in your bed, wherever you're comfortable. Put on a piece of music that you enjoy listening to, or listen to the sounds of the environment around you, or if you have a guided meditation to listen to, that's ideal too. I hope you've enjoyed this practice. I hope that your hips feel strong and nurtured, and I'll see you again for another practice. Namaste.